Hey guys, welcome to this week's vlog. My name is Rachel Elaine. Thank you very much for joining me this week. You know, I'm part of an online writing community that is over 20,000 members strong, and with that many members there are a lot of questions come up like, how do I beat my writer's block? Or how do I come up with ideas for this part or this scene or this dialogue? Or how do I even come up with an idea for a book? And out of all of those, there is one question that is on everyone's mind. How do I come up with an idea for a best-selling novel? There are a lot of elements that go into making a good story. Time, creativity, good characters, solid story structure, a well-thought-out plot. But out of all of these, we tend to focus our attention on one, and that is creativity. Once creativity goes out of our writing, we tend to lose everything else. We're worthless as writers without creativity. So how do we recapture that creativity, get past that writer's block, or finish that scene that we've been stuck on for decades? Well, as far as writer's block goes, I tend to find that a well-organized and structured outline eliminates most of those problems. But if that's not your problem, if coming up with ideas is your problem, then you really feel stuck. However, you may have surmised that, like many things, there is a solution to this. In 2013, Emory University did a study called Short and Long-Term Effects of a Novel on Connectivity in the Brain. The researchers found that becoming engrossed in a novel increases brain connectivity and also improves brain function. According to the study, reading fiction also improved the reader's abilities to put themselves in another person's shoes, and it enhanced the ability to flex the imagination in a way that is like muscle memory in sports. This is important for one reason, at least one reason that I'm going to use. Imagine yourself trapped in a black box. The walls are blank, everything is dark, and there is just an abyss of nothingness. This black box symbolizes your brain before you read, or in other words, this is your brain before you've fed it. Imagine yourself slaving away for days, or maybe you don't have to imagine. You have a scene, or a sentence, or even just a paragraph that you're fixating on, and you're fixing the grammar and the punctuation, and you're micromanaging it, and you just can't get it right. But the truth of the matter is that you don't know what comes next, because your brain is like a dry well, and it has no more ideas. Or maybe, like I said earlier, you just don't know where to start with writing a novel. You don't have any good ideas at all, and you don't even have a first draft or anything started. Your brain is the black box before you even begin a project. The fix for all of this is simple, but it is a delicate balance how you use it. Read. And by this, in no way do I mean steal another person's work to put into your own book. Think of it in terms like this. Every thought you have in your head was foreknown before you knew it. There isn't a single, individual, original thought in your brain. In fact, creativity in novel writing all comes from a synthesis of ideas that we already have in our head. Take The Hunger Games, for example. A lot of people have hailed it as something new and original, but if you look at its base elements, it's about an aristocracy who takes pride in watching the poor people fight to the death, which is, in essence, ancient Rome. And the other element of that is a futuristic, dystopian type feeling, which was already known before Hunger Games was created. And I don't mean any of this against Suzanne Collins, because I think that her synthesis of the two together was brilliant, even if I didn't like the ending of The Hunger Games, but that's a different subject altogether. But the point is that we take old thoughts and combine them together to create what we can present to the world as a new thought. Even though it isn't technically a new thought, it's just the addition of two old thoughts together. It's very much like mixing colors together. We cannot invent a new color in this world. All of the colors that we have in this world were already given to us. But if we combine two colors together that no one else has ever combined before, it will make a new color. So, running with that illustration, if we're trying to make new colors, wouldn't it make sense to add more of the old colors to our palette so that we can come up with a combination that no one has ever combined before? Or, if we're talking about this in a sense of novel writing, wouldn't it make sense to read, to add new ideas to the ones that we already have in our head so that we can come up with a new synthesis that no one has ever come up with in a novel writing world before? Or, in the very least, come up with an idea that is original enough, that has a new enough spin on it, that the public is exposed to it and thinks that it is brand new. Because if we're honest with ourselves, for the most part, complete originality has faded. I used the illustration earlier of Hunger Games, something that is new, something that is fresh, but we can see that its base elements are something that we already had before. But just because complete originality has for the most part faded, doesn't mean that you can't write a best-selling novel, or come up with a best-selling novel idea. Once you begin reading and expanding your knowledge, the possibilities for a novel become endless. I cited that study from Emory University, which was mainly focusing on fiction, but I would encourage you to read fiction, nonfiction, and whatever else is in between. Don't limit yourself to anything, because the more you know, the better off you will be. And who knows, maybe once you've searched the library and become some amazing Rain Man genius person that I'll never be, you'll come up with a best-selling novel idea. Alright guys, that's it for this week. The addresses to my Tumblr, my Facebook, my Instagram are in the description below. Subscribe to my channel, be sure to follow my pages to keep up with my updates. I'm not always able to do vlogs on Wednesdays, but most of the time if I can't do a vlog, I'll post it on my blog on Tumblr, so be sure you follow that. But hopefully I will see you guys next week. Bye!